What's up, guys and gals? It's the catch-up month of April, and we are almost finally caught up with the next piece of One Piece. Chapter 1144. Starting us off really quick, I did like this chapter. I thought the chapter was pretty solid. I really enjoyed the ending portion as well. Like, 3 of these God Knights cannot be this OP, you know what I mean? I like that we're finally starting to figure out, okay, it's very chaotic and stuff, and that's how they like it. They're working from the shadows, because out in a straight up, in-your-face battle, they would lose. We got the entire Straw Hat crew here. We have the Giant Warriors Velbath. We have friggin' Loki. We got all these people. We're not losing in a straight-up contest against a couple of these God Knights, right? They are not that on that tier, right? So the working from the shadows is definitely working for them, but this chapter is showcasing them fighting back, and I really enjoy that aspect of it, right? So we're still in the same cover serial where Yamato has been noticing, like, she freed the women from Who's Who, and then there's the Carpenter, even the Carpenter, you know, that was there in the beginnings of the Wano arc and stuff like that, and everything's okay now, and it's all going good. Frankie ends up finding this, is led to this building. He doesn't find it, but, well, Lilith and Bonnie found it. They got lost in Elbath, and they found this scientific building, this machinery-type building thing that has, obviously, is from the Void Century, or, well, actually, it's from before the Void Century, because Lilith's estimation is this structure has been here for over 3 millennia, so 3,000 years plus. Holy hell, this thing has been here for a long damn time, but it's obviously ancient civilization, ancient technology, all that fun jazz. The same technology that made Vegapunk the smartest man in the world. Yeah, more like Edison. Anyways, yeah, it's stealing other people's work. But anyways, that's not the point. That's not the point. The fact of the matter is that Bonnie and Lilith found their way here, so Frankie's gonna ride up with them and stuff like that. All of a sudden, the Zeus-looking thundercloud thing comes out of nowhere. What I'm afraid of, lightning. So the lightning manifestation of the kid's dreams come out, and it's like, oh my god, and Frankie's like, well, Elbath, you truly are a land of mystery and wonder. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. No. You know, Gaban's wife, Colin's mother, is there going, abso-frickin-lutely not. Ripley's like, no. No, this is not natural. This does not happen. I have no idea what's going on. Now remember, she might be weaponless currently, but like not have like a giant axe on her or something like that, but I guarantee you she is one of the last generation of the Warrior Pirates by her own admission. So between Frankie and her, they got this. This is no problem. One little lightning cloud, they got this, right? These are not fodder characters. They'll be fine, because we do jump away from that, and the Draugr are attacking at another section in the village of Elbath, and everyone's like, what do we do? What's going on and stuff? Once again, the chaos. And Brooke's even like, that looks familiar. Is that me as a giant? Yo ho ho ho! And stuff like that. So, once again, the chaos from the shadows. That's working. They have attacked on multiple fronts without warning, without knowledge of anybody involved, and now they're sowing the chaos and they're reaping all the benefits, controlling the situation. Not saying it's not a strategy, not saying it doesn't work. I mean, that's the whole espionage movie, you know. It's been done for years. The James Bond whole film franchise is based on the fact that one man behind the scenes has saved an entire country from tyranny and prevented World War III. You know what I mean? Like, the Black Ops and all that stuff, that is how you get shit done a lot of the time. However, you know, we're seeing it from the obvious side of, no, why are they doing it? Don't do this, you know what I mean? In the supernatural side of things. Colin obviously wants to go. Colin is like, I'm Gaban's son, I can go. They're like, no, you're too small, you're too weak, you know, you are the son of Gaban, not him. So forget about it. And that's when Nami, Jinbei, everyone's talking about the fact that, so they immediately bring up something that I thought was going to be a bit of a plot point, but is immediately dropped, and I kind of like that, is the fact that they're like, listen, there are other humans here. We did not bring them, but they infiltrated your royal castle. One of them looks like red hair. We have nothing to do with it, and they easily surmise that this is a work of a devil fruit power, along with everything else going on. And Brooke is smart enough to say, are we sure? Like, there is a lot of shit going on right now. Now, they don't know that the fires were caused by Loki. So, from their estimation here in the Sun world, they're thinking, okay, we have fires started, children abducted, these strange dream creatures, a guy who looks like Shanks has appeared. All of these things cannot just be the work of two people. So Brooke summarizes is that this is the work, even if we've only spotted 2 infiltrators, and that's what the guards saw, there may be more. So let's say that there are at least 2. So they've already come to this conclusion with the Jarl. All that stuff about, oh, the Straw Hats, you brought calamity here and all this crap. Yeah, no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And I actually like that because that beat would get old. Like, it's sometimes done, it's not done as much in One Piece, but it's done so often, and like, hey, we're finally, breath of fresh air, friendly territory. To create drama in your manga and your story, you immediately throw a wrench into the situation just for the drama. In this case, there is a wrench thrown, multiple wrenches thrown, but it's not that very tropey, okay, we gotta blame the newcomers, and now they're fighting on 2 fronts and all that stuff. No, we're not doing that. And I do enjoy, I like the strategy here. I like them calmly discussing this with the Jarl, with Brooke and Jinbei being much more insightful and smarter about the situations going on. Usopp is ready for battle. Everyone, Nami, of course, very much, ever since we've seen this in Punk Hazard, we've seen this before, is that she does not believe abducting children. No. She's ready to go. She's like, I'm taking Zeus. I'm about to kill some people. You know what I mean? Like, good. Let's go, Nami. I want Nami. Nami's gonna take on Summers. Nami's got to teach Summers that this is not how you know, with the thorns and stuff like that. And oh, you think that them crying and wailing is a good sound? Well, how about this? And friggin', I think Nami could go against any of them. But Summers is the one who seems to delight in the suffering of both the children and the parents. I think Nami takes on Summers. I mean, with assistance. You know, he is a God's Knight, so they might not be up here. But they're still, you know, they're not to be trifled with level. You know, I don't know what level you want to put them on right now, because we haven't actually seen them really fight, you know? Like, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say none of the God's Knights can beat Zoro. Other than maybe Shamrock. Like, exclude Shamrock and exclude the newest member of the Gorosei, Garling. The rest of the God Knights would probably lose to, you know, the Kings, the Zoros, all of the Yonko, clearly, you know, the Admirals, that kind of level. Like, they aren't them. I'm gonna say that now. They're the new antagonists, they work from the shadows and stuff, but they're just not, you know, like the first time we saw CP0 show up, they kind of got folded. Not gonna lie. In Wano and in Egghead, they got completely folded because the power creep has just happened. You know, it is what it is. So, I can see like a combination attack with Nami and some other people taking down a couple of God's Knights. I don't see that being an issue for power creep perspective, because they are not, you know, they are not Garp. They are not Shanks. They are not, you know, Luffy. Like, they are not on that tier. I guarantee you that none of the God's Knights can 1v1 Zoro, getting rid of, once again, excluding Shamrock and his dad. None of them can take on Zoro. I would argue that Sanji and Jinbei could probably 1v1 almost all the God's Knights without even seeing them yet, you know? I would argue that. Loki, clearly, if he wasn't chained up, I don't think Gungo wins. So, yeah, like, so this I enjoyed. Now, Jarl is, of course, like, no, you guys stay behind. You're our guests. We will definitely take care of this problem. It's like, no, we want to help. We want to fight. There's like, no. So anyway, we see Colin, who was rejected, you know, grabbing this boat, coming forward, and he's just like, oh, wait, you guys aren't going to stop me? Well, then, how about we do this? Fine, then you join me, and I'm the captain of the crew. Let's go. Because they, will, of course, all want to help. Jinbei, Usopp, everyone. So, we cut back to the God's Knights. Don't care that friggin' Gunko, because I don't like any of these God's Knights. Their designs are okay and everything like that, but they're terrible pieces of shit. So, giving credence to God's Knights is the same as giving credence and time and effort to, like, Charlos. You know what I mean? Like, they are celestial dragons. They are slavers. They are horrible human beings, and if you can even call them that, and they just deserve no screen time anyway. So we just move on from them, because they're not a good villain in the same way of that Crocodile is a good villain, like they're badass and stuff. No, they're sitting back pretending they're all that, when meanwhile, if they had to actually go toe-to-toe with any of our top tiers, they would get folded 9 ways to Sunday, and they wouldn't even break a sweat. Gear 4th Luffy can take these guys down. So, like, I'm not seeing the stuff. It's like, oh, she's listening to music. Yeah, well, now you've ruined listening to music for me. If my wife hadn't already done that, then this would have ruined listening to music, period, for me. All right? So then we have Saul being very innovative, very inventive, cutting away from the useless characters. We get, these villainous tyrants. We get Saul being inventive. He's like, all right, well, okay, I can't touch them or whatever, but what if I block them with the shield? What if I stop their approach at least? We can go from there. And so he grabs 2 shields, puts them together, and oh, it does work, because the thorns only go so far out from the children. But unfortunately, as they walk into each other, the thorns are hurting each other, so it's not good. So Saul immediately like, oh no, crap, this is terrible. Robin's like, what do I do? What do I do? They're all trying to figure this out. It's very difficult. They can't physically touch them. So even Robin's devil fruit, with all her hands and all her feet and stuff, she can't do anything, because then she'll get hurt, just like Saul did or anybody else. The thorns don't go away. They can't seemingly rip the thorns off. I imagine they are still invisible to the naked eye, so they just know they're being hurt. We're just seeing the representation of the thorns surrounding them, but they can't physically see them. So they don't even know to try to pull or where to grab or anything, right? So this is where Saul comes up with another great idea, and this actually works. Lassoing each child while asleep, pulling them. Now, they can't see Gunko's arrow, but I'm wondering, all right, if you pull, he only pulled and stopped 1 child, okay? And stopped them in their tracks. But I'm curious, if you stop the child in the tracks and let go, will they continue because they're on the arrow? Or if you manage to sort of grab them, right? And let's say the arrow's over here, and you sort of just whoosh and sort of toss them over to the arrow, they'd still have the thorn fruit on them, and they'd still be asleep, but they would no longer follow the path of the arrow. Or would they? Like, we don't know this yet, but Saul is definitely thinking, quick on his feet. What an absolute mad lad that he is. So, anyways, of course, at this point, the moment they figure out, hey, I might have a way to stop this, no, Fenrir comes up for, to just cause calamity and stuff like that. They're trying to take down the Drog and the other side of the village and stuff like that. They're seemingly getting pushed back. Obviously, Dory and Broggy aren't up to snuff yet or anything like that. Oh no, I'm wrong, because what are we afraid of? Ghosts and dragons and all these things. Hakoko sovereignty. Boom, baby. Just taking them out 1 shot. And it's like, okay, so they took out like 3. The Drog, the Ghost, and the Dragon all in 1 shot from this attack. And it's like, yes, the giant pirate crew is here on the Great Eric itself. And Dory and Broggy are like, yeah, it sucked to puke up all that alcohol, but we really needed to sober up. Fun fact, that actually does work. Because I've had to do it in one, I probably had to do it more than once, but definitely one bit of a crisis situation. Not that you can do anything, because you still have the alcohol technically in your system, but definitely if you're all wobbly and hey guys, how's it going, if you're all like, party drunk, you can sober up very quickly by getting rid of the alcohol that's currently in your stomach and being like, all right, splash some water on your face, and you're able to focus and stuff like that. It's called sobering up quick, and that's what Dory and Broggy did. It does indeed work. And who else is with them on the Great Eric? The left hand of the Pirate King, Scopper, GABAN. And he's here. Alright, the Mountain Eater is here. And he's like, this should be fun. And that's the end of the chapter. And that's a great way to end the chapter, I would say. Because now we're like, okay, because where's GABAN? It's like, alright, Elbath, his homeland's on fire right now. Like, maybe you should get involved. Clearly he wasn't involved when Loki, he was obviously traveling or something when Loki was causing ruckus, because I can't see GABAN being like, I'll just let Loki do his thing. I really doubt that. And here we're seeing that too. It's like, no. No, Alright, we have to take on some weird dream creatures. Okay, batter up. Knocking it out of the park with Dory and Broggy. Once again, Dory, Broggy, GABAN, like, once again, these God Knights in a fair fight are well in over their heads. I guarantee you GABAN can take all three of them by himself, and he's an old man. He's just a little less out of practice than Rayleigh, for God's sake. So, yeah, I'm not... Yeah. 100%. This is how, of course, villains work. So, do they work for villains? Yes. Am I shitting on them because they're horrible people? Yes, absolutely. But we like, on this channel, on most One Piece channels, we shit on celestial dragons. They are pieces of shit, and they deserve nothing more than 6 feet under the prison itself. We all know this. So, I'm going to treat the God Knights about that fairly. Yeah. I'm going to treat them like they belong underneath the prison. So, anyways. Plus, yeah, their designs are funky, but fuck them. Anyways, so yeah. So that's chapter 1144. A Time for Warriors. It was a good chapter. Once again, we're sort of figuring out a few things. People are rallying together. You know, we got part of the Straw Hats still down in the underworld, but we got... You know, we have Nami and Jinbei and stuff like that on the first boat, you know, going to head forward and trying to help. We have Robin helping out Saul, who's being very innovative and stuff like that. We have GABAN and Dory and Broggy are now in action, so things will get cleared up. Things will definitely get cleared up. And even though they've been attacked on multiple fronts, I'm quite confident in all the members here. We have so many powerhouses here on Elbaf that these God Knights don't stand a chance. You could send all the God Knights, once again, barring Shamrock, because we don't know the extent of his skills. If we assume he's like Yonko level or whatever, just because he's Shanks' clone or twin brother or whatever. Fact of the matter is, we can't properly scale him quite yet, I would argue. So, I would say that even if all the God Knights showed up, you know, barring the casualties and barring everything, I really just don't see... Yeah, because isn't there only like 12 of them? So 11 people versus the entire Straw Hat crew, plus GABAN, plus Loki, plus Scopper. Yeah, no. No. Dorian Bright, no. No, they're going to lose. They would lose to that 100%. So... anyways, and as we know, most of these guys have Conqueror's Hockey, so all their Devil Fruits can just be negated by friggin' Scopper just flexing, or Luffy, or Zoro, any of them just going, oh, your Devil Fruit's gonna put me to sleep? Boom. Fuck you. No, it's not. Your Devil Fruit's useless, now I'm gonna cut you down. You know, so we've seen that. We know the right amount of hockey works. I guarantee you that there are members on this Elbaf Island who have far more hockey than some God Knights that we were just introduced to. I guarantee you that. So, anyways, yeah, chapter 1144 was quite a good chapter. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are almost caught up. We have one more chapter left to review before chapter 1146 drops. Probably 1146 is going to drop before I get 1145 out, but shortly thereafter, or around the time that 46 is released, I'll have 45 out, and then subsequently have 46 just be a couple days late. But we'll be all caught up by the time 46 drops, sort of idea, you know, or around that weekend time. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you all back here next time for the last chapter before we're fully caught up. Alright, see you next time.